Live on Rogers TV. I'm one of your hosts, Rhonda Brown. We have the lovely
Mary J. Murray, and this is your favorite lifestyle magazine show on Rogers TV, and we have a great show today, and we're really getting into the new season.
Boy, are we ever. Great show and busy show, kind of like the old school Grey County life, because we've got more than just two guests in the waiting room today, which is back to before COVID. Yeah.
But what we have right now, all set and ready to go, and once again, we have Jamie Walpole from the Festival of Northern Lights, and welcome, Jamie.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. To have you.
Good to be back.
Yeah.
Which means that we're really gearing up for the new season.
We sure are. It's coming at us very, very quickly. November 19th. That's when the lights come on.
Yes, I can't wait, I have to say. As I always say, it's always been such a great segue into the Christmas season, and it was Emerson's birthday right around there, so we'd always go down, and it was so special. It's nice to think of young families being able to go out and celebrate and see the lights.
Oh, for sure. And that's the most rewarding part of it, and that's what it's all for. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, last year, because all of my family and grandchildren came early for a Christmas weekend at our home, we all went down to the Festival of Northern Lights, and it was just spectacular. So what do you have new for us this year?
We have a couple new exciting displays. We're still working on to get them ready, believe it or not. It's been a busy year. We have a new display. It's an animated polar bear display, which is going to be very, very exciting. A mom watching her little baby polar bear move around her. And then we have something which will be down at Harrison Park. You'll be able to see it when you drive by. It's right at the beginning of the campground. And it's something new that we haven't done before. It's a... I guess I can say it, just for you guys.
Yes, exclusive on Grey County Life.
We're building a castle. Yeah, so it's a very large castle that people will be able to walk through the door of, and it's just going to be very cool. Very
So an immersive experience for Grey County.
Yeah,
wow.
A rope-light castle. So very exciting. We are working on it diligently to get it done. It's a lot of work, but we're getting close.
Well, my granddaughters will love that.
It's going to be very cool. It's going to be very cool. And what we're also doing is down in the walking path in the campground area, we tried something different this year. It was a suggestion actually by my teenage daughters of making it a real photo opportunity. So there'll be some lighting walls, angel wings to stand in front of, and those kind of things. So it'll actually it'll be very pretty down there.
Yeah.
And we've built some other spots, and we'll have them labeled that are actually photo opportunity spots. It's a good spot to take a selfie and post it. So, yeah.
Hey, leave it to the teenagers to say, hey, we need some photo opportunities here and selfie spots. That's a great idea.
Yep, so excited to see their interest in it, and their friends are helping. So it's very cool, very cool.
So things are just a little bit different this year, because are you spending more time at the River District or at the band shell for your actual lighting? The lighting.
So actually most of our activities will be at the market building on the east side. Good spot still on the west side. You want to get a good look at the fireworks that we're going to have again this year. Both sides are great. We have a perimeter in effect, so that's why, if anybody wants to know, that's why we have that roped off section. We have a fallout zone that's to be sure everybody's safe.
Yeah.
But yeah, both sides of the river, you'll be able to see those fireworks, but the activities will be primarily on the east side in the River District.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
We did that last year, and it worked pretty well. It worked very, very well, and it sort of tied in with, because the River District is having their activities in the afternoon, and then after the parade, and the parade. What a day. It's going to be fabulous.
It's going to be spectacular, and you know, it's always a fun thing for everybody to look forward to, and I think it's awesome that the parade and the Festival of Northern Lights are all coordinated
I've been
on the
dreaming
same
of this
day.
for years.
It's perfect. It's the perfect marriage. I don't know why it took so long, but this is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's fabulous.
Yeah. So there's going to be hot chocolate.
There is hot chocolate, and donated by Zares. And this year we're working with Fresh Roots, CMHA Fresh Roots,
Nice.
and we will have some chocolate chip cookies for the first few people that come out. It's our 35th anniversary, 35 years. So we're doing a little bit of extra celebrating this year.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
Yeah.
I mean, we've really taken the Festival of Northern Lights for granted all these years because it's such a spectacular event in our community.
It's tradition.
And it's
It
won
is,
all
it
kinds of
is.
awards and things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So, but it's just amazing that it's 35 years.
One of the things that makes me proudest of it is we were one of the first communities to have a light festival. A lot of communities have them now, and that's excellent. I'm so happy that other communities can share. Ours is pretty special. It's pretty big compared to a lot of communities, and we don't buy our displays. We dream them up, and then we design them, and we send them to our metal artist, Rob Thomas, whose Twist of Metal is beyond amazing.
Yeah.
His talent is endless. I've challenged him, and he's beat me every time. So, and then our team of volunteers rope light it. So everything we do, you won't go see this anywhere else. Some other communities displays, they'll buy them, and because they don't have the resources or the knowledge that we do. So we're pretty spoiled.
Yeah. Are we ever?
How can the community support the Festival of Lights financially?
There's a couple ways. Our business community have been tremendous. We reach out to sponsors, and we're not aggressive. We're community-based. People reach out to us or see some of our stuff on our website, and they donate generously. They sponsor generously. The public, when you go through the kiosk, there's some couple volunteers that come out and say hi. Every single one of those dollars goes to put a light on. Every single dollar. We have very low overhead. We're a volunteer organization that is completely, let's build some more lights. And there's a lot of upkeep to it. I mean, we spent thousands of hours fixing displays this year. So that's how. And if anybody off the top of their head wants to, you can always reach out to info@fonl.ca.
Perfect. Thank you, Jamie, for joining us on Grey County Life. We can't wait to see
My
the Festival
pleasure.
of
I'll see you
Lights
down
this
there.
year. Absolutely. We'll be back after these messages.
Well, last week-
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Your mouth can do a lot of amazing things. And your mouth can save a life.
Hi, I'm Tom Wong. I'm just one of close to 1,000 Canadians in search of a stem cell match. We need your help.
A simple swab is all you need to register on the National Stem Cell Database. You could be the one to save a life. Find the hero in you.
I am Audrey.
And I'm Leah.
Leah inspired me to play hockey. The War Amps has helped me by giving me my devices I need to play hockey.
Audrey has an amputation similar to mine. What does yours do?
The stick clicks in it.
My device from the War Amps allows me to shoot a lot better. It rotates like a wrist, which helps a lot with shooting and stick handling.
When I score a goal, I feel really happy.
Great County Life on Rogers TV. We've got some new guests on the couch, Miss Mary Jane.
Well, we're carrying on with the Christmas season, and of course, we're welcoming back Tim Brown, who is the chair of the Kiwanis Parade, and Gord Harris, who is the chair of advertising. And it's always so much fun to see you guys because, well, quite frankly, we just don't think you ever grew up.
Good to be here, thank you.
So Tim, tell us about the parade.
Well, this is our 77th year putting on the Kiwanis Owen Sound Santa Claus Parade, and it's an evening event being held on November 19th. We have somewhere around 50 to 55 entrants that will be participating in the parade, which is a number very similar to what we had last year. And with the evening parade, we're showing off all the lights and magic that happens at Christmas time. And it looks, by the weather, we might have a bit of snow this year. So. Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, Tim, but
Oh, it's that time of year.
yeah, it sure is.
Got to
And
plan for it.
I have to say, I always kind of thought other communities that were doing this nighttime parade, I always thought, oh, why would you do that? But boy, it's beautiful. It is so lovely, and it coordinates with our Festival of Northern Lights so wonderfully. I think it's a fabulous thing.
No, absolutely. And you get a nice little sprinkle of snow and the lights, it all sparkles magically. It's awesome.
It's gorgeous, yeah.
Well, Gord, you just segued into beautifully in the theme this year of the parade.
Yeah, it's a magical music Christmas. So we're really concentrating to get some good bands out there to get the Christmas spirit rolling. So it should be very nice. Yeah.
Well, we certainly enjoy the music because that's where you get your feet stomping and your heart pounding, and some of us even sing along.
I hope so. Yeah.
We have
That's what it's meant for.
We have that wonderful Christmas music that we love to hear, so it makes all of us want to sing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you were saying that you have about 75 entrants this year?
About 50 to 55 entrants this year.
55, sorry.
And a real variety, from walking groups to bands to people on floats. It's a real variety that have come out, and every year we seem to get new entrants that want to participate in the parade and have different ideas of what they want to do. So.
Now we know that we're all sort of struggling with volunteers, and so how are you managing for people stepping up and volunteering for the parade?
Well, obviously we have our own members in the club help out as much as they can, and we call on. We have for our advertising, we have some banner signs and some wagons that we pull, so we kind of get people from all over. We've got the scout group is helping out carrying banners.
Big Brothers.
Big Brothers is helping out as well, and I've conscripted a few neighbors of mine to help drive the little garden tractors that pull the wagons. So we just kind of draw in the community basically, and they're more than willing to help out because they know what a fabulous event it is, especially for the kids, obviously. So we all want to make it a big success. So.
Oh, well, absolutely, because it's something that people from other communities drive to Owen Sound to watch and to participate in. And it's good to see so many organizations that are, it's a great way to promote your organization is to be in the Santa Claus
Oh,
parade.
absolutely.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
No. And we really noticed during the static parade that we had in 2020 of how far people came to see the parade, because it was a slow running procession through the parade site, and we got a chance to talk to people, and there were people that were coming from Kincardine and Barrie and Orangeville and all that. So you're right, the people do come from quite a distance to see this parade.
And our float itself, if you ever saw it inside how it all works, the fellow that did it, the late Phil Geniak, spent about 5 or 6 years doing this float. It's spectacular when you look at it. And now we've got the reindeer rocking as well, and the lights flashing, and it's just spectacular. I don't think anybody other than somebody in the Toronto parades would have anything as lavish and it complicated as that float. It's fabulous. So.
And is this the same one we saw last year?
Yep.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes. I was there.
The highlight. It is the highlight. Yeah, it's what everybody's there for.
It doesn't matter how old you are.
I know.
As soon as you see that float come, the parade is gearing you up. You know, you're feeling happy anyway, but you know, just how everybody just lights right up as soon as
it starts the Christmas season, doesn't it?
It does.
It gets you rolling.
100%.
Yeah,
Wow.
the Christmas tree sales start, and everybody's just going hyper for Christmas. Absolutely.
Yeah, kids can't sleep.
Yeah.
Adults too.
Yeah.
And so in previous years, you've had, I think it's the fire department that is, and the Salvation Army that is collecting canned goods to restock their shelves.
Yeah, so the Inter-Township Fire Department helps the Salvation Army, and they collect all the canned goods. We're encouraging people to bring those out again this year, as well as letters for Santa that the Canada Post workers are going to help collect again this year.
Oh, yes. Well, that's always good. And it's really good to see how young children are contributing some canned goods and things like that. It's really starting to teach them how to give back into the community.
No, that's for sure. Yeah. It's all positive.
Oh, absolutely.
Positive.
It
sure.
is.
Yeah, it's a great time.
Well, I can always see by your faces that the two of you just really enjoy what you're doing here.
It is. It's a fun time.
Yeah.
It's all fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's all
We
fun.
enjoy it as much as the kids.
Yeah.
As an aside, what else do Kiwanis do in our community? If somebody was going to join your organization,
good point.
what would they find themselves doing?
Well, I just mentioned the Christmas tree sales start.
Yep.
That's a big fundraiser for us.
When does it start?
The Saturday of the parade, actually.
Okay.
The 19th.
Okay, because we always get our trees from
And
you.
it's a fundraiser.
Yeah.
The parade is revenue neutral. We don't make any money in that. We just try and cover expenses, which are substantial.
Yeah.
Some of these bands, and it costs a fair bit of money. And then what else do we do? The soccer complex,
Yeah, the play center down at Harrison Park.
play centers. Can't think of all the things we do, but it's a lot of stuff. And we probably contribute the last few years about $120,000 to the community a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so that goes a long way. And we do a lot of, I'll say, almost anonymous things that people don't hear about, braces, dental work, that kind of thing, for, I'll say, underprivileged kids or whatever.
School sponsors like scholarships.
Oh, yeah.
There was a substantial amount given this year again for scholarships, and something we're planning to continue.
And we're always looking for new members. And one of the biggest things I hear is, "Oh, I don't have the time." And I say, "Yes, you do. You have an hour a week. Surely you could give an hour a week, an hour a month. What's it matter? If 50 people give an hour a week, that's 50 hours a week. That's a lot of volunteer hours." So we certainly encourage people to come out, come to a meeting, see what it's all about, and I think they'll get hooked.
That's the goal there, yeah. But you know what? It's a companionship. It's
a camaraderie. It's the fun
sense
we
of
have on our
community.
events,
I think it's a great thing. And you're right. If it's 1 hour a month, it's really not that difficult to find.
No, and you don't have to go to meetings. A lot of stuff you can do from home, actually. And that's a big thing nowadays, do your work from home. But phoning committees, organizing people by phone. So it's not like you have to be there from 8 to 5 or that kind of thing. So we really encourage people to come out and give it a try.
And all of it really benefits the children in our community, which is the best thing in the end, because it makes us a better community.
Well, I think the parade is an anchor. I mean, everyone looks forward to it. And there was some big concern through the pandemic that there wouldn't be a parade. And there was this sort of sense of loss. But you pulled it off. I mean, amazing. And then, but then the story continues because you did it at night during the pandemic. Now it has become
our evening parade.
your evening parade, which has been in the back, I understand, has been in the back of your minds for years.
And we were talking out front there. Jamie was just in with the Festival Door Light. It just ties in with that so perfectly. It just goes one to the other. It's just a great family affair.
Yeah.
Just a great night.
Yeah.
How can the community financially support the work that you do?
I guess
It's more really about having the volunteers come out and help us and join Kiwanis, because it's events that we put on that really help us. Like we actually own Whispering Pines Campground, where we have employees there, but those are things that we go out and do work out there. Sometimes we have a working bee for a couple hours on a Saturday or something like that. or help out with Santa Claus Parade, or help with the sales of the Christmas trees. There's lots of things that they can help, and that helps us raise our money through sales and efforts like that, rather than donating money to Kiwanis. It's your time we'd like to see.
Yeah.
I see. So it's time, but you also want people to come out and purchase all your trees. And I know that if you don't get there early, you miss out.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but the last 2 or 3 years, we usually go to a few days before Christmas, and then the ones that we have left over, we donate.
Yeah.
Well, last year we were 2 weeks before Christmas, they're gone.
Yep.
Yeah, they were
I send my husband, first weekend, you have to get there early.
Yeah, to get what you want.
Yeah.
So it's a good one.
Men and women can
Oh, absolutely.
join.
Absolutely, yes.
Yep, it
Yep.
isn't a male.
We love the
female.
women. They're great organizers.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. They are.
Yeah, no, we love women in the club. They're great.
Do they bring cookies too?
No, of course not. No, the men do that.
Excellent. Good answer, Gord.
No, we have quite a few women in our group in there.
Yeah.
We just blend together. It's awesome. It's just
Well,
fun.
it's a common goal, and when you think of how much money is spent behind the scenes in Owen Sound, thanks to Kiwanis for our kids, I can't imagine what things would look like if we didn't have that.
Yeah.
That's
No,
a lot of stuff being done
Yeah.
behind the scenes
No,
for
that's
our
sure.
kids.
We had the skateboard park up at the rec center there.
Yeah.
That was one of our projects as well. And a lot of kids use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been excellent.
Yeah.
So,
Fantastic.
So how long has your club been going now?
oh, good grief.
90s.
Well, we're getting close to 100 years.
Yeah, it's 97 years this year. 100 years
Oh.
will be in 2025.
It's crazy.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that'll be a big celebration too.
Yeah.
Will
Yeah,
it
will,
not?
absolutely.
It will.
And I think-
77 years for the parade, but
Kiwanis
100.
International is what, 105 maybe?
Yeah.
Something like that. So we're right behind.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
When you think about it, the parade has been 77 years
Yeah.
without having missed a year that we've been putting on here in Owen Sound.
Yeah, good on yous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
yeah, it's
Well,
good.
and I think a lot of people who have started off as kids watching the parade are now the adults that are supporting the parade, the volunteers.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you grow into it for
So,
sure.
Yeah.
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 I have to ask, is the theme this year any kind of a tip of the head or tip of the hat to Bill Murdoch?
No, I don't think so.
Music?
Not
No.
particularly.
Oh,
No,
it
we
made me
never,
think
we
of
never
him.
thought of that actually.
Yeah, it made me
point.
think of it when you said the
It was so
theme
huge
this
in the
year. I'm
music,
thinking,
that's
wow.
right. Never
yeah.
thought of that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very, very
If
nice.
it is, it wasn't intentional.
Subconsciously, everybody, yeah.
Very much.
Yeah, for sure.
It could be.
Yeah. Very well done. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they just created a new float.
Yeah, maybe. You never
Yeah,
know.
that's an amazing idea. Yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, there's going to be a lot of music at the Festival of Northern Lights too, particularly in the River District after the
Yes.
parade. So, like, there's just absolutely something for everyone.
There should be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If they don't enjoy it, it's their own fault.
One,
You
one
know what I
thing.
mean? It's just-
Sorry, one thing we should mention for this year is the parade will actually be a little bit longer. Typically, we've gone from essentially Metro at 11th Street and 2nd Avenue East all the way down to 8th Street, and then 8th Street down to 3rd Avenue, and then we end at 3rd Avenue and 8th Street. Well, this year, we thought because of the number of people that were there last year, maybe we can get them spread out a little bit more. So we're going to continue down 3rd Avenue back to 9th Street. So hopefully a little bit longer, and we'll see how that goes this year. And we may adjust it again in future years, but
I'm
a
trying
little
to
bit,
picture in my
longer
Well,
route.
when you take it along 3rd Avenue, you're also taking it in front of Central Place.
That's right.
Yep.
And a lot of the seniors like just to come out.
Yep.
During the day, I have seen them lined up in front of Central Place, and not all the entrance or floats actually went past them.
That's right.
No, that's
yeah.
right.
And so this is really very thoughtful
Yeah.
to actually include the seniors who wouldn't normally get over to 2nd Avenue East.
Well, as you probably remember, last year the attendance at the parade was just phenomenal. Like 5 and 6
yeah.
people deep, it was just crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And so when we went around 3rd Avenue, we were looking down there going, we better keep this thing going for a while.
Yeah.
Because they were way down there to the post office.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it was awesome. It was nice.
I know there were a lot of people, and I'm a little person, And I really felt that it was important that the children be in front of me. And I just kind of got buried in the back, and I'm seeing the tops of everything that goes by. I should bring my step stool.
Yes, yes.
No, we were just blown away by the participants watching last year.
Yeah.
It was just phenomenal.
And
awesome.
you will probably have the same this year as well,
I would think
coming
so.
out.
We're hoping, yeah.
Everybody, we had everybody that we talked about, oh, it's so nice to have it at night. It was so beautiful with the lights. And so we knew we made the right decision.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And I think the entire downtown community is going to benefit from the Festival of Northern Lights, the Santa Claus Parade, the activities afterwards, and I'm sure the stores are going to stay open as well.
I hope so.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the intent, is that the stores will stay open and people can go to the stores and buy a few things, get ready for Christmas.
Well, not only that, supporting our local businesses are really important. I mean, they're giving to the parade. It's up to us to give back to them and shop locally.
No, absolutely. Yeah. For sure.
Wow.
Well, it should be quite the event. So if somebody wanted to donate some time, how do they get a hold of you guys?
Well, they can email us at the Santa Claus Parade site. If they just want to Google the Owen Sound Santa Claus Parade, there's an email address. You can send us an email and we'll let you know how you can help us, either with the parade, or if you want, there's also a Owen Sound Kiwanis website that you can go on to and ask about coming out and coming to a meeting. Members are happy to take somebody to a meeting as well.
Yep.
We have luncheon meetings that we encourage people to come out and see what we do and what we talk about. So,
for those people who don't have a computer or don't feel comfortable with emailing, is there another way that they can get in touch? Like you said, a member would bring them out, but is there another way of getting in touch with you?
Well, just personally, anybody who wants could call any of us personally. I'm sure nobody would mind a member.
Okay.
How they would find a member if they don't know Tim or I or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how they would do it, but.
Well, you're wearing this lovely T-shirt that's a golf shirt that says Kiwanis. I mean,
So if they really want to, it wouldn't be hard to find a Kiwanis member.
Okay.
Where do you hold your meetings?
Well, our luncheon meetings are held down at the Best Western.
Best Western, okay.
And even some of our evening social events are held there, but we do go around to different locations for some of our evening meetings.
Perfect. So. And the next meeting is?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay. And this is next week, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So you'll have to wait a month, but wait a month from that date and go down to the Best Western and you'll likely find some Kiwanis.
2 weeks. We're every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks, okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, and we
pleasure.
cannot wait for the big parade this year.
Thank you for having us. It's great.
Thank you so much for the work you guys put in.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
We'll be back after these messages.
I'm sure right now a lot of you feel like you aren't able to be who you truly are.
What's most important, more important than everybody else knowing who you are, is that you know who you are.
As a young person, time moves slower for you. And just know that things will get better.
It Gets Better Canada is a registered Canadian charity with a focus on uplifting our queer youth through the power of digital storytelling.
As a Two-Spirit person, I use they, them pronouns, but that's not the case for every Two-Spirit person.
There are so many voices out there that we didn't have 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
No matter what your mind tells you, you really are perfect the way you are, so stop beating yourself up so much.
I'm gonna be a boy in a dress, because why not?
Your identity is explosive.
We all have our unique journeys, but one thing that connects us all is the desire to be happy, the desire to celebrate being our authentic selves.
Every year, dozens of Canadians are killed or seriously injured because they take risks around railway tracks. Talk to your loved ones about rail safety. Visit stoptracktragedies.ca.
Lovely viewers, it's your host of On the Couch, Antoine El Hashim, reminding you to tune in for every episode of Season 9 of the longest running and most loved local queer talk show on Rogers TV. Check it out.
Welcome back to Grey County Life on Rogers TV. We've got new people on the couch.
Well, we do. This is a really busy show today, but everything is so important in terms of what's happening in our community. And we had the pleasure last January of talking to Christine McCardle on the Restorative Justice Program from the YMCA. And we booked that date last January for today, and I am so pleased to welcome you back again, Christine McCardle and Kim Johnson and Blythe Ridgway, all from Community Justice Program Restorative Justice. And once again, Christine, can you just give us an overview of restorative justice in the program, and then we'll move into a little more deeper conversation.
Absolutely. So I think the YMCA would appreciate the fact that we mentioned that that's where our programs are based. So we all operate out of the Owen Sound and Grey Bruce YMCA, although our programs cover all of Grey and Bruce for sure. When we were here in January, we spoke about coming back a little closer to Restorative Justice Week, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. As the calendar turns out, we are here in the midst of Crime Prevention Week, so it works just as well, since all diversion programs are meant to be preventative in some way. So when we were here last, we spoke pretty specifically about restorative justice, and to sort of recap that, restorative justice is a process where all folks who have a vested interest in an incident or an offense are brought together to work collaboratively in terms of resolving the offense in a way that allows people to move forward feeling that their needs have been met and feeling that a positive resolution has been reached. So in the case of restorative justice circles, which is the most formal restorative justice program that we have at the Y, we literally bring victims and offenders together wherever possible. Of course, it's a voluntary process for victims, so but the invitation is always extended to them, and usually accepted. To be honest, it's a pretty unique process that people I think have been finding beneficial. So we do, in those particular situations, come together in a one-time meeting. Certainly there's preparation done ahead of time with both the young person involved and the victim. But once we're all comfortable and convinced that everybody's ready to gather in the same spot and have this conversation, we go ahead with that. So the circle itself is a one-time thing, and a conversation is had specifically regarding what's happened. So offenders are asked to speak about their role in what's happened, their level of responsibility. They're also asked to speak about how they think other people have been affected. And then as the process moves on, while all of the other people who have been affected have an opportunity to speak. And so that's sometimes a bit of a lesson for the young person involved, because often what we see as impacts of our behavior come from our own perspective, of course, and other people's thoughts about how they feel they've been affected by a young person's behavior can be quite different. So yeah, lots of lessons there. And then we simply work to create a plan in terms of, okay, what needs to happen now for everyone to feel better moving forward. And we put an actual agreement in place. And That agreement is unique to that circle, of course, because it's created by the people who are there. So agreement tasks can be things like letters of apology or community volunteer hours. They can also be really concrete things like financial restitution or replacement or repair of damaged property. Sometimes people want to see an educational component in a young person's agreement, and we have ways of working that in as well. So victim involvement ends at that point, although certainly they're kept apprised of what's happened, but our involvement with the young person remains through until that agreement is completed. So they have some support through that process from us.
Wow. I know we were very impressed with the process the last time we had this conversation, and I am very grateful that we have this in our community, because I think it can impact the lives going forward of the perpetrator, in the sense that perhaps it makes some changes in the trajectory of their life going forward in their future plan. But I'd like to hear from Kim. Would you like to tell us your story, Kim?
Sure. Well, as well as being a staff member for the YMCA, I'm involved with another community organization, nonprofit organization that owns some property, and there was an incident involving some young offenders and damage to the property. So I was able to take part in the Restorative Justice Circle with Christine from the victim's perspective. So we were able to meet with the young offenders and their families, and we as an organization were able to let them know how their behavior had affected us as an organization, how it had financially affected us, and the impact on a volunteer organization. And they were very receptive to that, and they were given time to speak, and they were apologetic, and this also involved their families. And with Christine's mediation, they developed a plan, and they ended up coming and helping us on a day that we had designated to restore some of the damage that had been done to the buildings. So they volunteered, they came and volunteered for that, and they also provided financial restitution, which on their end was voluntary. It wasn't something that, but after taking part in the Justice Circle, they felt that they wanted to make a financial contribution to the organization that I'm involved in. So it was really wonderful. And I also was involved with another organization last year, where the young fellow that did his community service hours ended up being connected with the organization and is still volunteering. So from a community perspective, that's an excellent outcome from the Justice Circle.
May I ask just a broad age range of the young people?
I think
15 to 17.
15 to 17. So
and there were 5 young people
and there
involved,
were 5.
so there was an awful lot of people speaking.
So, and may I ask, like, what were the parents' involvement? Like, were the parents receptive to the restorative justice process?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Parents, when presented with this option, felt like it was an absolutely ideal way to attempt to resolve things. I mean, there's a role for parents, for family in this process as well, because we operate all of our programs as diversions. So we're primarily talking about young people. We do have some adult programs that Blythe can speak to for sure, but predominantly we're speaking about young people. So there's always some level of family involvement, but in the restorative justice process, in the circle itself, there's a role for parents. There's a speaking role for parents, because, I mean, we all know as parents, we also are impacted by the behavior of our children. So when we start to talk about who's been impacted, parents have an opportunity there. So parents have kind of a dual role in Circle. They're there in support of their young person, for sure.
But they're certainly given the opportunity to express how their child's behavior has impacted them as a parent and as a family.
Most definitely. Most definitely. And how they would like to see the agreement unfold going forward. There's a role there as well. So these parents were particularly keen, yes.
I would think that sometimes that might be, it's a facilitated conversation between the parents and the kids, and maybe that's easier than just one-on-one sometimes, where that communication is broken down.
Well, it's true. Circles are facilitated conversations, and thank you for bringing that up. We don't throw people in a room together and walk away. Our circles are facilitated by community volunteers who have been trained in our process. And so yes, it is a facilitated conversation, and you're absolutely right, Rhonda. I mean, as parents, we make sure that our children understand that we think they've done wrong when that's necessary. So when you ask young people how they think their families have been affected, or their parents in particular, they'll say, well, they were angry. Yes, yes, they were. So you know that's a conversation that's happened over the dinner table probably more than once. But the conversations less likely to happen over the dinner table are, that makes me question my parenting skills. That makes me embarrassed in community. That makes me fearful for your future. That's often new information for a young person, and it's also an opportunity to provide some support to parents around those are perfectly natural responses. So you're right. Conversations happen in circle that may not happen at home in between people who know each other very well.
Have you had occasions where parents didn't want to participate? Do they have to be a part of the process, or can that?
If the young person is under 16, then yes, parents need to be a part of the process. Do you know, we've not had, we've been doing this 20 years now, and I don't think we've never had an unaccompanied youth. We have had certainly some youth who have come in the company of grandparents, in the company of those who are acting as their guardian, but never one who has chosen to attend on their own.
I'm just being careful of the time here, and I would like to give
That's okay.
a chance to speak about the program that you do, because you're more working with adults, aren't you?
I am, and we have facilitated, so we have workshops for our young people as well as our adults. Even going off of the parents' involvement in our youth workshops on a regular basis, we do see parents in the background who are assisting, and it does open up even further conversation about topics such as crime prevention, things to expect, conversations about anxiety. We have that workshop as well, a little bit of anger management as well. There's a variety of different programs that we can offer, but again, it opens up those conversations. On the adult side of things, so through our direct accountability program, diversionary measures, sometimes people just make mistakes and they're looking to try to make amends in a different way. It also can involve workshops. Community service hours are a huge piece of it as well. Having that input into the community, and the hope is to further gain some connections with what is Grey and Bruce counties. It can be very interesting, though, to see the aspects of even of our adults who are sharing some of the knowledge that they're learning through our programs with their children, and they're very excited about sharing. You know, we've never talked about coping skills. Let's have that conversation. So it's always great to have that feedback too from our clients that we serve as adults, for sure.
Do you, when you're working in the groups and you're working with adults and you're working with their young adults as well, do you talk about language structure in terms of how to phrase things without being confrontational?
That is a really good conversation. We do have an anger program actually that talks about the assertive communication versus some individuals who are very expressive. And so it is an important piece as well, having that, how do we appropriately communicate? How do we work on skills? And oddly enough, in our workshops, we do find out much more about what's going on with an individual, so we can resource share. Sometimes individuals, they just need to talk something out. Sometimes they would prefer to be in counseling. Through our programs, we're able to connect with other agencies as well, agencies within house, to try to help commit more to the community.
It sounds Sorry, go ahead. I was going to say, it sounds like something that everybody could benefit from because, I mean, communication skills, it all comes down to that, doesn't it? But it'd be great to have that in our schools to teach them when they're young how to communicate with each other. And I don't know how successful they are at that in our schools, really.
It is definitely a difficult navigation to go through.
Yeah.
And yeah, we do see some of our youth that they just want to have a conversation about this is why this happened, how do I go about making amends. I've had some really amazing workshops happen. Youth are in that 17, 18 range where they're just thinking about striking out on their own. It is a real big conversation opener, some of our workshops and our workbooks that we have as well. Again, coping skills is a huge thing, personal growth. It's a great reflective tool to look at our own lives and say, this is how we want to move forward, this is how we want to make amends, this is how we want to impact our community.
Do you find that the youth are swayed by their peers? They're sort of swung down a path that they don't necessarily want to go down, but there's this pressure behind them that says you need to be part of this?
Yeah, we have those conversations quite a lot about peer pressure. And I usually make jokes with the adult clients as well of it's not necessarily just a teenage thing. It happens to us all.
Oh my gosh, I was just thinking that. It's mob mentality.
Yes.
I mean, there we are. It's in a nutshell right there. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
We will often say to a young person, had you been on your own, do you think this would have happened? And they're like, no.
You don't just,
right? Yeah. But it's, I mean, diversion in general, whichever program you're talking about, our goal is to be able to provide tools and resources and sanctions, if need be, that encourage young people, young adults, to make healthier choices moving forward, whether that involves their own mental health, whether that involves their own choices out in community in terms of how to spend their time, who to spend it with, in terms of having the confidence in themselves to step back from a situation that they think is not going to end well. Those are all messages that we work very hard to get across, and certainly within the restorative justice format of that, understanding the consequences of our behavior, understanding the impact of our behavior on other people is pretty telling. And often in circle, it's after the victim speaks and talks about how they've been affected. And I know that Blythe has this conversation with her adult clients within the DAP program because their agreements don't specifically involve the victim in the way our youth programs do, but certainly try to take their needs into account. But it's when the victim has finished telling their story that you can kind of see the shift in the young person in terms of, I didn't understand that before, and now I do.
Yes.
And that's what makes the difference.
That's the little light switch, isn't it?
Yeah,
isn't it?
definitely.
Oh, well, ladies, as the last visit, we've got so much we'd like to ask and so much to learn from this. And restorative justice, I mean, I think it's just such a great way to, as you said, create community, I think, But we, of course, have ran out of time. We'll have to have you back again because this is so interesting. Very interesting topic. So we'll be back. Don't forget to tune in to Grey County Life on Rogers TV next week.
We're going to speak with Megan Switzer from the Heritage Place Shopping Center.
With clubs, leagues, and courts in every province and territory across Canada, squash is the sport for wall-to-wall fun, fitness, and friendship. From coast to coast to coast. Learn to play and you'll want to do it every day. Squash. Play inside the box.
Bipolar disorder.
Substance addiction. Bulimia. OCD. Want to swap?
1 in 2. A flip of a coin.
That's the same chance we'll experience a mental illness by the time we're 40. $1 a day can help change those odds.
Piper Post here with me for Knights. Tune in on Fridays at 5 to watch Knights hockey. Alessandro Supino here with Knights Hockey. Tune in to Rogers TV 5 o'clock on Friday for the game.
Welcome back to Grey County Life on Rogers TV. I'm Rhonda Brown.
And I'm Mary Jane Murray, and we have another set of special guests, and these women are from the Women's Center of Grey Bruce, and they have an event coming up, and we wanted to squeeze them in at the end of the show so that everyone would know what's happening. So welcome Tiffany James from the Owen Sound and District Chamber of Commerce, and Crystal, who's from the Women's Center, both here to tell us about the event. So let's start with Crystal. You want to tell us about the wellness event?
Yeah, so we are putting on an event together for the Owen Sound Chamber of Commerce and the Women's Center of Grey Bruce. It's called the first annual Women's Wellness Retreat, presented by TD. So thank you, TD, one of our awesome sponsors. And basically it's going to be a day of workshops put on by local entrepreneurs, networking, and just empowerment.
What
Local
a fabulous idea.
Yeah, so local business women getting together and networking, and we have a workshop being put on. We'll start the day off with yoga, with Happy Fit Yoga, which is in town here, and then from there we're going to have a Christmas wreath making, or a holiday wreath for you to hang on your door when you leave. We'll also have chocolate making with the Chocolate Lovers Society. It's a new group in town. Yes, we're not sure quite what chocolate, but I've heard it might be rum balls. I'm not exactly sure.
This is a new company in Owen.
It's a new
chocolate making
Chocolate Lovers Society.
Oh,
it's a society. It's a group of women that have got local business women that have come together to support local not-for-profits. And what they're going to do, because it's the Chocolate Lovers Society, they're going to make chocolates with the women that come to the retreat tonight.
Oh my gosh! All right. Well, I'm buying a ticket for sure. Okay.
And then to cap the evening off, we have with Beverly Frosch, who's the Blue Mountain Medium. So
Blue Mountain Medium. So what is that about? I remember reading about that on Facebook, the event, and thinking, what does that mean?
So basically, she is a medium who is someone who can connect with spirits of people that have passed, and tell you things about your future and things about your past. Yeah, it's a very interesting experience. I've seen her myself, and I can confirm she is the real deal. Yeah,
Wow.
she knew some stuff no one should know. I'll leave it at that.
You can tell us. We won't tell anybody.
Yeah, very private on Grey County Life. Yeah.
No, what happens at the women's retreat is going to stay at the wellness retreat.
Chocolate, yoga, definitely. Yeah. So will she be doing individual sessions, or is it a group event that
So it'll be a group event, and so she'll talk about how she got into mediumship, and then also she'll read whatever she can in the room as a group experience for the guests that join us. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we have to know the date, the time, the place, and the cost.
Absolutely. So the date is November 19th at Best Western Inn on the Bay. It's from 9 until 3. So it does include a light breakfast as well as lunch. Tickets are $75 a person, and you can get a table of 6 for $500. And you can get tickets, I think the link is going to appear on your screen, because do you know it?
If not, www.trellis.org/women's wellness GB.
Okay, well,
wow, Crystal,
I know.
Just a minute. We need to pay homage to the fact that you could remember that. That was spectacular.
There's been a lot of planning. It's ingrained in my brain.
Can you say it once more, just so that? Yeah, I'm sure.
For sure.
It's going to be on our screen, so that's awesome.
Yeah,
excellent.
Our tech guys are fabulous. So just make sure all that information is there. And how can people register for it?
Yeah, so by going to that link, you can pay online and register right then and there. You'll be emailed a ticket, and then you can bring that ticket with you or have it on your phone and just show it to whoever's at the registration table that day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when you arrive, you should be wearing yoga clothes or clothes comfortable for yoga?
I would just be comfortable
Yeah.
for the day. Yeah, there's not yoga mats. It's just a breathing and meditation at the table where we're starting. Just to calm ourselves, center ourselves as we start the day.
No turning people into pretzels.
No. No downward dogs. No.
Hallelujah. Well, it sounds like a great way to kick off the crazy Christmas season because I personally believe that for women that is just an insane time for most of us.
So it's a good day because it's the day of the Santa Claus parade, so you can come and just get centered, and then you'll be able to go and enjoy the parade with your kids afterwards.
Well, of course. And that date hadn't clicked for some reason. That's right.
Yeah.
But I think also what is so important is the camaraderie and fellowship between women.
Exactly, yes. And very important to note that all of the proceeds for this event are going back to the Women's Center in Grey and Bruce, to help the women and children in our area.
Yeah.
Wow, the Women's Center is so important to have in our community. It has grown, it has expanded its services, and it just does an amazing job for women and families, because not only are you taking in women in distress through domestic violence, but you're also supporting them as they transition out.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a number of programs that do so many great things, including those transitional services.
Yeah.
And then even outreach. If someone just needs to talk to someone and they're not ready to leave, or they're trying to make a safe plan to leave a bad situation, they can call us as well, and get their support they need.
What kind of things does the Women's Center need right now heading into Christmas?
Yeah, so that's a great question. We are always looking for what we call discharge baskets, and they are laundry baskets of new pots and pans, new cleaning supplies, brooms, anything like that for when the women leave our shelter and go into the next chapter of their life.
Yeah. What a great idea.
Yeah.
And what was it? It's called
discharge basket.
A discharge, but it's it starts with a laundry basket, and you just fill it up with all the essentials. Because often when they come to the Women's Center, they're just coming with the clothes on their back.
Exactly, yeah. Whatever they can grab in the moment, if they can grab anything. But we work really hard and have awesome community partners that help us get everything that the women will need. And hopefully we can continue to support them on their way out, but we do what we can.
And that's what the Wellness Retreat is all about, to celebrate women, the fellowship, and to raise money for the Women's Center.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
What a great day.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to it, and it's the first of many to come, we hope.
Yeah, first annual. Yeah. Stay tuned for the second annual.
That sounds amazing. What a great way to spend the day. Well, thank you for coming today. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody with the medium and find out what we can find out. That sounds very interesting. But also, just as a heads up, it's Adorable Adoptables with Renee it's not here this week, but she will be back, and we can't wait. And maybe Charlie's going to have to make a visit.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for joining us today and telling us all about the newest event for the Women's Center.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much for having us. Thank you.
We'll be back next week on Grey County Life on Rogers TV. I was going to say.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
Sometimes, for a wish to come true, it takes a kingdom, because together is stronger. tied tight, united we stand, in honor of one child's wish, to fuel the fire that will grant many more. Join the kingdom.
Donations to the YMCA have a lasting impact on amputees. Today, your support gives them the artificial limbs and resources they need for everyday